Okay, this video is about pre-workout meal, and the emphasis is going to be if you're going to do some type of short interval workout, like for a sprint or for weightlifting, like a high rep set of squats. There's different types of workout. I mean, if you're trying to run a marathon, that's really a different category of disease. What got me interested in this was I just listened to this book called Endurance by the author's name is Alex Hutchinson, and he's a middle distance and marathon runner, and his goal was to see if it was possible for somebody to run a marathon in less than 2 hours. And it's a pretty entertaining book, especially if you're interested in running, a marathon or something like that. But a couple thoughts about just having your optimal physical performance. And I got interested in this from doing high repetition squats. You want to eat breakfast that day. If let's say I'm going to squat in the afternoon, because that hydrates you. Your muscles are a little bit stronger when they're well hydrated, and it's hard to get all that hydration on if you just, eat or drink right 2 hours before the workout. So have a good breakfast that day. I like beans for breakfast because they got prolonged satiety from all the fiber. And what you're really doing is sort of loading your glycogen, like carbohydrate loading. You can eat other forms of starches too to load your carbohydrates, your glycogen, potatoes, sweet potatoes, rice. You can eat fruits too, they're good. I like the fruits too, you get a lot of potassium, vasodilator on board. I like blueberries too, you get your magnesium as well. Blueberries are less sweet of a fruit. They're less likely to cause tooth decay. I mean, I love fruits, but you got to be a little careful with your teeth. Salad is good. The nitrates as vasodilators, all these things to optimize blood flow to your muscles when you're working out. What I'll often do is I'll guzzle 32 ounces of beet juice. Just 2 hours. It has to be about 2 hours before, so you'll have peak blood glucose levels at the time of the workout. And it's only going to last about 4 hours. So for a 1 hour workout, 2 hours before, you're good. And so guzzle 32 ounces of beet juice, and then I'll guzzle 16 ounces of water, reverse osmosis water immediately after the beet juice. And I found that gives me great energy for doing high repetition squats. I've also noticed if I have to give a lecture or something, like something that's going to be a more challenging, longer lecture, I'll do the same thing. 32 ounces of beet juice followed by 16 ounces of water. So I'm sort of maximally hydrated, maximum blood glucose level at the time of the effort. I've heard other things too, like some people say, a little bit of salt. I wouldn't take any extra salt. I actually heard of people getting sick doing that, so I kind of started to do it, then I got scared and I just ate a full meal. But if somebody's really dehydrated, there's other special situations. I'm not going to go into those. Sodium is actually a complex subject to study, and I don't take any extra salt. There's a little bit of salt in beet juice anyways. There's about 95 milligrams per serving. And I was drinking, I think 4 servings with that 32 ounces of beet juice. So whatever it is, it's perfect. I also know when I give talks, like long, difficult talks, an hour long or more, that I find the words faster if I had that beet juice first. They put bicyclists onto stationary bikes and had them do a sprint test, and they could sprint with better endurance if they'd had the beet juice. I've had other people tell me, beet juice is BS because it's pasteurized and there's really not that much nutrition in there. Maybe it's just sugar water or something, but, if you listen to that other guy, Durian Ryder, he's kind of funny, that Durian Ryder. He's a bicyclist guy, and he always says, sucrose, sugar is the best energy supplement. He says it's not just some special ingredient. He says it's the basic metabolic fuel of all our cells. All right, what else? Be well rested. That's super important. So try to get good sleep the night before. I actually find that I don't want to do anything that's going to be rough on the joints, at least 2 days, maybe 3 days before. For example, I like to exercise walking up and down stairs, but I don't want to be doing that, 1 or 2 days right before I'm going to have an effort at trying to set my record on personal squats, because my knees will be a little sore. Not bad, but just enough to maybe take edge off you if you're doing high repetition squats. You can do something like a low impact stationary bike 2 days before, but I wouldn't do it on the same day. You got to be well rested, and I like to take a nap on the day of a big squat effort. Warm up really well. You're stronger once you're warmed up. I like to put the room really hot, which drives my wife crazy with her postmenopausal hot flashes. But part of being a man, you have to learn how to ignore a wife. Warm up well, avoid psychological stress. for at least 2 or more days before, because it can be fatiguing. Some like caffeine, but I don't ever drink it. I've talked about caffeine in other lectures. There's reasons why I don't want to take a brain stimulant. I don't want to increase my brain metabolic demand more than it needs to be. Avoid psychological stress, excessive things, because that can be fatiguing too. You can get a mental fatigue, which can affect your physical performance. It's good to do things to get yourself psyched up. I also think it's good to push yourself at least once a week in some type of workout at a reasonably high intensity level, because that's how you know how you're functioning. If you don't ever challenge yourself, you don't know what you're capable of doing. And also, you don't know when you're doing well or you're doing bad. By knowing, I know how many squats I should be able to get. I keep a training record of how many squats I got the previous week and how many chin pulls or lat pulls or whatever other weightlifting exercise I'm doing, how many push-ups, etc. So you know where you're at physically. If you've changed your diet, changed your exercise routine, changed your preparation routine, you need to keep track of it, and you need to routinely challenge yourself to know how you're doing, because you always want to be slightly improving if you can. Things that help you psychologically are things that maybe distract you, because it really matters your sense of perceived effort. And if you've got a training partner, that's good. If you got a coach or something, that's nice too. Most of the time we work out alone, but having a partner will inspire you. If you have a little bit of competition with your partner, that'll inspire you. If you have a little audience, watching you lift, that'll inspire you. Motivational music, it inspires you, it distracts you, it's all good, it intensifies your focus. I got a whole bunch of music that I'd recommend for a workout. I'm not going to go into that now. Keep a training record. Talked about that, and you can see your progress. Look at the form, like right before I'm going to lift. I'll say a quick prayer. I'll take out my book of perfect form on squats, and I'll look at it. Mostly get tight, your core and all that. All that stuff just gets me ramped up and psyched up, and it helps. I'll do a mental vision squat first before I get on there to make sure my form is good. And that's about it. Hope that helps.